go for the SPSS. In the fourth day, we go for the SPSS, and in SPSS, first we start with the labeling the entries. It means whatever the what are the variables or whatever the entries you are going to do in the SPSS, that will be labeled. Means giving the name. Then after giving the name, then we need to identify which is the best way, which is what is the mode to enter the data, how to enter the data, and then go for the statistical tools. Then fourth day and fifth day we'll go for the statistical tools, and if possible, you can also use your laptops. I'll share the links also so that you can also have the link files and you can use the files also. No problem for that. Okay, thank you. And also at the end of these sessions, we'll be giving, at the end of the day, I will be giving some poll questions, and you can answer these poll questions. And sometimes also I give you some assignments. If possible, you can also make it done. MS Excel is a possible things. You can easily make it in the MS Excel. Everyone will having some laptops, and also if anyone is having Office 365 in their mobiles also, they can use the Office 365 for making things done. Whereas SPSS, you can make it done later also, but please go through the videos so that please concentrate on the video so that you can also be done after completion of your, after when you come back to the college also you can do this. Okay, now let us start the things called the day one session for day one. What is day one sessions is, the day one is related to theoretical aspects on questionnaire construction, and we'll see something about the introduction to Microsoft Excel. First, a word data. The data is a buzzword, is an evolving word nowadays. What your teachers, so as Bhargavi Madam, Savanthi Madam, and also the HOD sir has said that data is a buzzword, and data analytics, big data, business data, projects, and all these what are the words I've been seeing on the desktop are all those are the buzzwords which you are going to see in the modern world, in the corporate world today. I was have a different slide to you. When you go for a first revolution, industrial revolution, a concept of industrial revolution, everyone use it for something, stream, something electricity, something, all these things. But now we are in the technological world where we are fighting with the IT, Internet on things, IoT, and information technology, and all these things have impacted each and everywhere, each and every point, from a vegetable vendor to the retailer, from vegetable vendor to a retailer, everywhere we are using some technology, and technology is being a part. And how to use this technology, and where comes the information technology? Information technology or technology is not only comes directly, then we need to collect some data, we need to collect something, some identification. Data is called as collection of facts, raw material. It's a raw facts. It means it is not going to process. If I ask you to say something about data, data, then every one of you, there are 60 participants over here, 60 participants will say that this is good, this is bad, data is this, data is this, data is that. And we collect huge amounts of data. 60 people will give 60 responses, and I can collect 60 responses, and that will be only a raw data. Whether it's correct or not, we are not going to judge, but we use it to collect the data. And after collecting the data, we go for the processing. What happens in the first stage is that we need some data, we need some information, we need some data which is raw in nature. It means everyone will give their responses without having proper knowledge also. Sometimes people without having some knowledge and having a meager knowledge on the topic also, they answer. Then comes over to the processing. What we do is that there we identify whether what is good and what is bad, and what is required and what is not required, and which suits to you and which is not suitable to you. If I'm saying something about a Python, if I'm saying something about Java, it is not relevant to you, and also you people may not be aware about that things. But I'm saying something about the events which are going to use you as Excel and also SPSS. These are the tools which are helpful to you in your future also. Then these type of things are useful things which are suitable to you and which are not suitable to you. We'll compare, and this comparing of the things is called a processing. And then you process the things and you'll get a meaningful information from the raw material, from the raw data. We are going to process, then we are going to get the information, and these information will be helpful for making any decision making. You will be saying something about decision making as selecting a best alternative among various alternatives. How we are going to find the alternatives, how we are going to get the alternatives is that getting alternatives is only basing upon the data you have collected. Either the data may be, have given that, either the data may be in form of numbers, either the data may be in form of quantities or information, observations or graphs or measurements, any tool. You may use any such type of things, then that becomes a data. You're not restricted that a qualitative things is to be observed. You're not only restricted to quantitative things. Some people say something about India. India, some people say that it's a developing economy. Some people say that highest population. Some people say that these that, and each and every opinions will be collected and also recorded. And when we are entering, we are doing particularly in aspect to income levels. We are seeing something about the income levels. Then we comes over what is a per capita income, what is the GDP, and what is not, and we are going to consider all those things. Then that processing will be done. That processing will be done, and then we get the output called information. Then information will be the processing of the data. Then all this data will be processed and also will get back to the information. And that's why data is raw, unorganized facts that need to be processed, yet to be processed, that need to be processed, then will be processed. When data is processed, the organized or structured presentation with given context, it is called information. It is called information. Then it is very clear that data is raw facts and also information is processed data. Then what do you mean by an analysis? Data analysis says that I have given a word, I have given, you are listening a word data analytics. Analytics is also a word which is used for the analysis of a proper implementation of some statistical tools. Then comes analytics. I have not used the word because the scope of the analytics is very wider when compared to the analysis. That's why I used the word only analysis here. And analysis is a process of turning the data into a meaningful information. And how, what type of data you are going to carry out, what type of data you are going to take, and how you are making the analysis is what the data analysis. I'm taking only the data related to the previous performances, not about the previous performances of Indian team, only the present information related to the recent matches. Then I'm going to concentrate only on the present performances, not on the previous performances. This is what we need to identify. What is your scope of research? What is your scope of things? What is your need of things? Then that helps you in identifying and also going for the quick analysis of your data. Why? Because large amounts of data will be collected, and from large amounts of data, how you filter, how you process, how you filter the data is very important task to you. Which is good and which is bad. You need to identify. You need to identify and you need to decide whether what type of data need to be analyzed, what type of data need to be undertaken. And that's what need to be analyzed and also identified. Next, what happens here is that you can see this. Many number of large data is there, large amounts of data has been collected, then that goes for the analysis and that helps for the meaningful decision making or a strong decision maker, a better decision making and also generation of ideas. What happens here is that the analysis of data will helps you in getting a very alternatives, very large number of alternatives. We do some techniques called brainstorming, we do some techniques of nominal grouping technique, all this thing. What was the basic purpose of that is that to generate large number of ideas, to generate a large number of ideas so that we can get a better decision. The same way the data also helps you in also getting to a better decision. This decision making is a mean decision making is the important concept need to be done by need to be analyzed by each and every individual nowadays. As you are the MBA graduates, even the juniors or seniors will involve some activities, the management meets and also the project, also exposure with the individuals known as the corporate. When you go for the intensive training programs or internship programs, when you go for a carrying out the real-time process, real-time projects, then you will be able to experience what happens in the corporate culture. When you say, when you start studying about organization behavior, when you start studying about MOT, management and organization theory, management organization behavior, people feel that whether this happens purely in the organization or not. We say conflict. What is conflict? And that whether that happens or not. It happens really in the organization when people involved in decision making, all these situations comes around. Then how to resolve and how to analyze. That's why we need to know something about what are the various sources of getting the solutions. And here, what happens is that the researcher need to collect the data. A researcher, known as an individual, need to collect the data from various sources, and then he go for the interpretation. Data interpretation is attempt to find the meaning from the data, meaning for the data. And good analysis communicates something meaningful about the world. A good analysis of data will communicate you. A good analysis of data will communicate you to a better understanding, gives a better understanding, also gives a meaningful about the world, meaningful things about the particular aspects or particular things. If you are searching something about conflict, then conflict, we'll get a good analysis of the conflict and we'll get a better solution over there. If you are taking something about decision making, if you're doing something as a junior, you need to something elect as your specialization. If you're searching on that, which is good, in which source we have getting some employment opportunities, in which source you are getting some huge placements and all these things, you will be able to search all these things. You can use this process of data analysis. Data analysis helps you to interpret what are the happenings in the corporate world, and how do you analyze the things, and also how do you judge the better option. And the results will be evaluated after your completion of course when you're going to place yourself in the organization. Then that helps you also whether how you are choosing, whether you're choosing the best alternative is correct or not. And this is what a generation of idea. And it's a general process. It's a general process of analysis. Define the question, whatever the problem is there, identify the problem, then collect the data and also clean the data. It means you evaluate whatever the data which is not necessary. Which is not necessary, you need to evaluate those things. Unless you evaluate, you cannot select the best one. Because large amounts of data will make you to feel ambiguity, feel you to confuse, and also makes you to think for go for a random decisions. That's why better to evaluate the things which are not necessarily required. You can evaluate the things, and also you can go for the analyzing the data, and also you can visualize and also share your findings. And why visualizing and why you are sharing your findings is that in organizations you are not only making the analysis for only your purpose. In organizations, when you play a role as a team leader, as a manager, you need to make the analysis for certain objectives, for fulfillment of certain objectives or certain goals of the team or a group of people. And for that purpose, you need to make a perfect analysis, positive analysis, and that gives you a good relation, good answers for the problems, good solutions to the problems. That's why you need to visualize, you need to show them, you need to make the people to aware about the things, and also you need to share the people about what about your findings, and also you need to accept them. That finding should be accepted by the people in order to make the things done. Next, we have how to make the analysis, how to make the collection of data, how to make the data. We are saying something here that define the question, collect the data. How this data can be collected? How this data can be collected is that data is collected from various sources. Data is not only collected from the opinions of the people. Data is not only collected from the books itself. Data can be collected from various sources. And those sources can be classified as two things called primary data collection, methods of primary data collection, and methods of secondary data collection. These are the two important tools through which we can collect the data. We call it as primary data and secondary data. And how we are going to collect the data is that various sources. First one is related to primary data. Primary data is directly collected from the respondents, known as from the individuals. When you are giving some feedback, that is a primary data. When you are responding to a question, that is primary data. Basically we undergo for surveys, polls, and also interviews, and all these interventions and focus groups, Delphi techniques, and statistical methods. We involve the people. We involve the people in decision making. We involve the people in getting the opinions. We involve the people in responding to the situations, and that helps in getting the things done. For that purpose, we need to identify. And we need to see the things whether it happens or not. Whether things happens or not. That's why the primary methods of data analysis will give you the practical experiences, the real-time experiences. Better to go for a practical experiences. Even a finance student also can go for the first type of data collection, primary source of data collection. Also, I'll give you what is primary data and what is secondary data, and also what type of the methods need to be adopted for MBA finance and also HR marketing. Also, first see what are the various methods are the primary data. In order to collect the primary data, we have various methods of conducting the surveys, conducting the polls, conducting the opinions interviews, and adopting a questionnaire method. You can give a structured questionnaire and structured question. The people will respond. We have many forms, Google forms are there, and many survey forms are there, many other things are there, through which even you can print a question, print a series one sequence of questions in form of questionnaire, and also you can supply to the respondents, and also you can get back the responses also. If I ask about the program, how do you rate the satisfaction levels of the program? Rate the level of satisfaction. Some people will say that strongly agree, disagree, and so on. So that is what the responses. We are going to expect the things. And second way of sources, second way of collection of secondary sources is that from the published sources, or the published reports, through which we can easily analyze, we can easily take the data. Every time the government gives some budgets where it expresses some reports about GDP, it expresses something about CRR, cash reserve ratio, SLR, statutory liquidity ratio, and many more things are there. And all these financial reports of the companies audited reports of the companies, published sources, whatever the published sources been published by the statutory bodies, either the statutory bodies or the corporate companies and all these things, then that becomes the secondary sources of data. We can directly, no need to have intervention, no need to interview, no need to consult, no need to go for the interview purpose, no need to meet the person also. Directly, we can see the things, we can see the financial statement, and we can see that the current ratio is like that, the asset ratio is like this, NPS is like this, and we can also easily analyze and we can also interpret the things. That is what the secondary data. No direct or physical interaction between the peoples will be involved when you are involved in the secondary sources of data collection. Secondary source of data collection. In primary data, particularly you involve with the people. You need the people involvement, people's participation, respondents participation, and their opinions will be tabulated and also statistically applied. Statistical tools will be applied and will be made done in the primary tools. Whereas in secondary tools, no need to do that. You can directly see the publisher reports and you can see directly use the tools, and also you can directly interpret the things. Then what happens and where do you practically apply this? Where do you practically apply this is in your project, and also actually we need to learn something about the is MBA is not only a general postgraduate program, it's a professional program where we need to identify, we need to learn large number of things, in aspects like training programs, and also go for the internship programs, and many more things are there. A part of all these things, we have a project where we go undergo for a project using, you need to go for a industries, we need to go for a corporate companies, and where we undergo for a period of 45 days. Then we collect some data and we present the data in form of a systematical form. We present the data and we go for the Viva course. Then we get the MBA certificate. Whereas the thing is that the project is purely on the basis of the industry based research. It is basically on the industry based research. We need to analyze, we need to identify, we need to analyze, we need to identify the things. And this MBA project is a result of your MBA course. Then what happens is that the project provides you an opportunity to apply the skills and knowledge that you have acquired to investigate an area that fills you future. If you are able to convey, if you are able to meet the company's secretaries, even the company's MDs, even the managers, even the supervisors, even the subordinates, even the accountants who are involving in the companies, who are working in the companies, what they generally suggest you, what they generally do is that they give you some suggestions. Which will be helpful to you to enrich in your future. What accountant says that is that methods of accounting. What are the methods of accounting? Accounting decisions, what they generally involve. What HR recruiter will say is that what are the methods we are going to generally adopt in recruiting. What are the training programs we are going to conduct. Even when you ask a marketing person known as a marketing executive, he gives you some suggestions. Whatever the suggestions is that all these suggestions are experiences, their real-time experiences. Those real-time experiences will helpful to us in making some policy making, in making some decisions. That helps you in placing in the industry also. When you ask to solve a situation known as a case study, when you ask to go for a case study, and how do you solve the case study? Based on theoretical aspects, you will solve the case study. It's okay. But what about the previous experiences? Whether it suits your structure of your organization, whether it suits your size of organization, then you need to have better understanding. Then the chance is that better to have an interaction with a minimal working capital based organizations, so that you can get practical exposures, and also you can get back to your projects easily done. And if you are very ambitious to start your own company also, if you want to be own entrepreneur, then you can have some interactions with the experienced persons or the entrepreneurs who are involving in the activities, and then you can learn something. A part of the theoretical background, we also require some practical things also, and practical things will be known when you interact with the people itself. Then I have categorized three things because we have three specializations here: finance people, financial management students, and also HR students, and also marketing students. What generally do that is finance students basically concentrate on the secondary data. Only 5 to 10% of the people go for the primary data. A part of that, 90% of the students will concentrate on the secondary data itself. They will not go for the primary data. The reasons itself that they work on the financial statements. They work on the financial statements. The financial statements will be published. It is mandatory to publish the financial statements every time, every year. Then these financial statements will also helpful for the researcher. These financial statements will be helpful for the not only researcher, not only student, you even you also will be helpful in identifying the company's position and the company's whatever the things is required. You regarding the company capital budgeting, requiring the financial statement analysis, regarding the ratios, regarding whatever the aspects you want to consider. Working capital management, if you want to analyze something about the cost analysis, whatever not, everything will be projected in the financial statements. The things which have not been projected over there will be done in the audited statements or the discussion. The discussions being given over there, or sometimes we also present the CEO will give you some words, CEO terminologies and CEO words will be there in the beginning of the story, in beginning of the statements, they give some words about the whatever the changes in the technology, whatever the changes in the methods, whatever the changes happen during the recent times and all these things. When you go through a financial statements, it will be very better. We'll be able to understand whatever the changes been taken during the academic year, during the financial year. And every financial year, it is mandatory. They use it to disclose the financial statements, and that helps you to learn many more things. Even an MBA graduate need to undergo for the identifying what are the things need to be happen. The people says that sustainability reporting nowadays. What is sustainability reporting? And what is corporate social responsibility? And what is that CSR? What is sustainable reporting? What is ecosystem? And what is green based reporting, green card reporting? And all these things are inflation accounting. And all these things are the buzzwords what we need to learn everywhere. When you go to the field, when you go to the corporate world, all these things you're not restricting to your only finance. You're not restricting to your HR. You're not restricting to your towards the marketing. We need to adopt all the mix, all the blend of all these things, so that only we'll be able to success in the field. Because if you're joining in a small company, if you're joining in companies where you are owning a company size only 10 people, there cannot be a specialized marketing executive, there cannot be a specialized HR executive. Even you are a marketing, even you're a finance graduate, you need to make the people to do regarding the marketing. You need to instruct the people who are involving in the marketing. You need to instruct the people who are involving in recruiting, because the company size is very low, and you need to do all the activities. That's why the primarily you need to concentrate on whatever the things being activities being carried out by the organization. You need to concentrate and you need to. And I have given some exhaustive list of things: working capital management, financial statement analysis. All these things are the topics which they generally cover under the financial management. In second part, whereas the marketing and also HR students, I hope many of you are from marketing and HR students, and these people, what these people do, that is, these people they go for they go for the primary sources of data collection. Primary source of data collection. What they do is that they construct a questionnaire, they go for interview process, they go for a survey, they go for opinion polls, then they go for the analyzing the data, they go for the gathering the data, and they go for the analyzing data. And what they do is that they generally reach the people known as the employees of the employees of the organization, about the employees policies of the organization. You go for a marketing executive, you go for a customer and ask about the satisfaction levels. You go to an employer and says asking about what is the relationship between you and your superior, subordinate and superior relationship. And like this, you identify the reasons. You identify the reasons and you identify the things and whatever the things required to you, and all these things can be easily identified and also can be done in form of structured questionnaires. Structured questionnaire is not only a one alternative, we have many alternatives apart this. A structured questionnaire is a standard form of activity being carried out in basically a research purpose. Basically research purpose, and basically in a research of your MBA, known as MBA project reports, we undergo for a questionnaire. And questionnaire, if we are saying a questionnaire, it should be like a question paper, not like a answer sheet. It means it should not be lengthy. It should be very precise and very concise. It will be very much smaller, so that will be in a simple word, so that easily to understand. Even because you may give the questionnaire to an illiterate, the same questionnaire to a person who is possessing highest qualification also. It means that we should concentrate all the people, all the categories of people. You need to identify whatever the things need to be structured and whatever the things you need to gather. Then only you can employ all these things in the questionnaire. Then only you can interpret the things. And what happens here is that recruitment, selection, training development, employee relations, conflict management, compensation, and nowadays we are seeing something about learning methods also we are seeing, and many more methods are there, and all these things are being carried out under HRM, known as human resource management students. Then coming to marketing management, some of the popular things is that they undergo for the customer relationship management, customer satisfaction, then buying behaviors and impact of advertising policies and all these things. Now recently the marketing intelligence systems, and whatever the MIS is there, MIS policies is there, and whatnot, we are involving in all the other activities also. Why? Because even when you take an example of a bank, it is not being covered over anywhere. You are going for the core banking solutions called CBS, and what is CBS and what we are going to do, and what is ERP, enterprise resource planning. We can also work on ERP. ERP is also better things we need to go for. Some people says that Tally ERP, and ERP is not a Tally ERP. ERP is also has many features like this. Even the government of India and the government of Telangana's SPNP, TSNPDCL, NPDCL will use ERP. It's an automated system. It's an automated system where we generate all the reports using some ERP. The same way TSRTC, they are also following the ERP procedure where the reports will be generated automatically and also can be made done automatical reports, generated automatical reports. And what is the pros or cons, and what is things need to be identified, you can analyze again, you can gain some practical knowledge on that also. Then now comes the topic called questionnaire. What is it and how to design one questionnaire? Then basically on the basis of your hypothesis, basing on your assumptions, basing on your research objectives, you construct the questionnaire without understanding, without identifying the objectives, without identifying the assumptions. I also call hypothesis or assumptions. You might be seeing that null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis in your statistical methods, your statistics for managers or the quantitative techniques topics. You'll be seeing what is null hypothesis and what is alternate hypothesis, what is margin of error, margins, level of confidence, and all these things you'll be seeing there. The same way, basing on all those things, hypothesis, objectives, we formulate a questionnaire. Without these basics, we'll not be able to generate a questionnaire. That's why concentrate on formulating your objectives first. Basing on your objectives, you formulate the hypothesis, and basing on your hypothesis, you formulate the questionnaire so that it will be helpful in analyzing the data easily. And then you can make a structured research activity. If you're not making a good questionnaire, how you can analyze the data, and how you can present it and interpret it. That was the basic question to you. That's why what is meant by questionnaire is that a set of printed or well written questions with a choice of answers devised for the purpose of survey or statistical study. It's not a big thing. It's not a big thing to prepare a questionnaire. Only thing is that I'm asking you the question regarding, if I'm saying something about training and recruitment, you can write something about the training. What is training first? Actually, you need to analyze. And in training, what are the methods? In methods of training, whether these are within the companies, whether we are going for the inbound, whether we are going for the outbound. Regarding the recruitment, within office recruitment, in employee based recruitment, or some consultant based recruitment, and what are the methods you are adopting. Based on these methods, you can adopt whether the measures are adequately surveyed or not, whether these measures are adequately using or not. You need to make the analysis, and you need to make the things done. That's why when you are seeing something about customers, you ask about the customer satisfaction, and how you ask the customer that how you are satisfied. Take this example of this pen. If you ask a customer that about how you are satisfied with the pen, some people says that the comfort, some people say that flow of ink, and some people say that durability of the product, some people say that the price of the product. Basing on all these things, then you measure the satisfaction level. You ask the people, you can identify what are the variables you can use, and these variables will be helpful in identifying the level of satisfaction, and that helps you in making the things done. That's basically gaining a concept, learning something about the product, learning something about the organization, learning something about the structure of organization will helps you in designing a questionnaire. If I'm working regarding the NTPC, if I'm working regarding the government organizations, what is the structure of organization I need to analyze. If you're working for a private companies or the corporate companies, I need to analyze what is the structure of the companies. Then only I can go for the analyzing. If I'm saying that if I go for I will make a project on Google, it will not be a possible thing. If I say something I work on the Amazon, it's not a possible thing. Just work on the things which are possibilities. Just check out your possibilities. I've seen projects that many people will get a project that have done something on Wipro. How it's possible to make the Wipro project?
Sir,
How it is,
excuse me, sir.
madam?
Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Sir, someone has raised a hand.
Okay, I didn't get that. Okay,
Vinay Kumar. Vinay, do you want to ask anything?
okay,
Okay, sir, you can continue.
okay. Then what we need to do is we need to analyze. We need to analyze. If Wipro is not possible to do on the Wipro, just take on a small companies or small corporate companies where they publish their annual report sequentially, where they give some information, proper information, and you can convince them that we are using only for the purpose of analysis, only for the purpose of study itself, and we are not going to do any other things with the manipulations with the things, and how we are properly presenting. Even I've seen some projects with regard to SBI with I've seen ICICI Bank, and now you can make a secondary data analysis. Secondary data analysis using that banks, you can using some institutions. We cannot go for the things which are related to the things. You can go for the respondents with the data respondents limiting to your scope to a branch. You can make yourself that I'm going to deal with only some Wipro company of employees of Hyderabad, employees of particularly branches of the employees of the Hyderabad in particular branch. Then you can do this. But what is that is you need to identify your scope of the study. You need to identify your scope of the study, and you need to discuss what is good or what is bad, and then only you have a project evaluation committee in your college also. Then you can discuss with the guides, supervisors, and also evaluation committee. They can also suggest you that which is the better way or which is the best way to discuss, and then that will go for then you can go for the carrying out the research work. Don't go for the things when you can go for the research, you can go for a major project and minor project, and your pilot studies also. College of pilot studies is that basically we connect a pilot study in order to know a small emphasis, to get a knowledge on unknown things. Unknown things. If you want to learn something, then you can make a pilot study also. If you want to study something about the Kia Motors, Kia cars is the buzzword now. If you want to study something about the Kia cars satisfaction survey, you can go to a store. You can get the data of the customers. If they are not willing to share the customers, you can spare your time, in the store, so that the people will come for the service, people will come for the services, and people will come for the consulting. And you can ask the customers, and also you can contact the customers directly, and also you can view the things, you can get the responses. And if you are getting the responses regarding the hero, then there are many number of customers. If you want to get the surveys, if you want to get the opinions on any other things, you can get many number of things, many number of sources are there. You can get from all those things and all the sources. First, proper identification of the objectives, then go for the analysis, then only go for the construction of things. And here, questionnaire design. What is basically things need to be identified is that translate the question required info into a specific questions. I said you that transform whatever the things is there, make it a research questions called research objectives and also hypothesis. Then that helps you in making the analysis. Second, should motivate the respondent to answer properly. If you're asking what is your income, no one will say that income. No one will. At the time, you may give a range. You may give a range for that. It means that income levels are 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, 2 lakhs to 5 lakhs, 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Then so that they may choose the things. But if they are asking directly what is your salary and what is your income levels and what is your expenditure, what is things, the people will not ask. The people will not be responding to you. And if you're asking something about your monthly expenditure, the people can't answer. What is your investments? People will not answer. What about your property? People will not answer. Don't go for such type of questions. Go for such type of questions which will be comfortable to the respondents also. Make a choice, give a choice to them so that they can choose. Give a ranking scale so that they can choose. Giving an order of preferences so that they can choose. Even you can give yes or no option, whether you are investing in some future, investing in stocks, whether you are investing in derivatives, whether you're investing in share market. You just press on, you just ask them yes or no, then they'll answer yes. If yes, how much amount of, no answer. That's why you can ask there what percentage of amount of your savings, what percentage of your income you save in form of shares, you invest in form of shares. Then you can give 10 to 15 percentage, 5 to 10 percentage. Then the people will respond to you. The people will respond to you. If you're asking directly, they'll not respond. If I ask you the people who are 53 people here, if I ask you how many people will join you tomorrow, will not be able to answer. But if I ask a question, if I give a survey form, then they will say that without filling the name, you can respond. The people will give the responses there, and the people who will do the assignments, and also the people will get the same response, because you need to identify the interest of the people. What is the interest of the people, and what the preference has been given, and how to make them comfortable towards the answering. You should not make them ambiguity. You should not make them fear whether we have given this option and what will be happens there. And if I'm giving this data and what happens with my data. No one will share the password. If you share password and they feel that no one will share the password. If they share the password, feel that they are very comfortable with them, so that only they can share the passwords. The same way here also, only you should motivate the people. You should motivate the respondents only to respond towards the question. You should not explore. You should not exploit the people. Next, should minimize response error. Should minimize response error means that they should be, we in research purpose, we take a standard error called 0.05 percentage or 95% of significance, and 0.05 percentage of errors will be errors. And that's why only, and for this we need to go for the analysis, and we need to go for the minimizing our response errors. That will be a very beneficial thing, very beneficial thing. And what happens here is that if the person is not able to answer the question, not able to respond to the question, then you can minimize by giving the missing values, that answer, the response for that is a missing value. And in Excel also you can do that, and also SPSS also you can go for the missing values, and also you can reduce the error values. And then these are the basics which need to be restricted. You have given a 6 points. These 6 points need to be identified, and these are to be identified, and also these need to be identified in order to prepare while preparing a questionnaire. First, prepare yourself what should be asked. Prepare what should be asked. Sometimes people will ask you the demographic profile call, elements of their personal matters of a response. Is it necessary to ask their personal matters? If it is necessary, you can ask. What was the purpose? I'll give a small example. If you want to study something about a satisfaction about the some particular car, you are asking about income. Okay. You are asking about a family size. You are asking about a family size because whether a 3 members family or a 4 member family or 5 member family is preferring car or not. Whether a 2 persons family means a wife and husband is preferring car or not. Then what about the 6 or 7 people or 8 people family size, whether this car is preferred or not? You can make some relationship over there and you can ask the question. But if you're asking that parking place is available or not, you're asking that parking place is available or not with you, then it's not a suitable thing. That whether it is asked to you, it's also essential thing, but we can also go for the other types of features also. Even in your house, you're not having the parking place, you can go for the hiring of the parking place at any other place, and also you can go for things, but it is not a suitable form of question. You can go for a suitable form of questions which will be made to feel comfort level, under the comfort level of the respondent. That's why you need to identify only those type of questions. You list a questions, you judge yourself, you also employ on yourself, then you can justify yourself that which is the best or not. That was you need to identify. First one is what should be asked, which is an appropriate one need to be identified, and how it should be phrased. It should be very precise one. The question should not be more than a one line, should be in simple to 3 to 5 words. Even it might not be a question form, what, where, when, it not to be included. It's not compulsory to include all the things also. You can give a judgment that you can give in form of the questionnaire when you're starting in the stage itself. I want to evaluate the level of customer satisfaction on variables known as price, cost, so quality, determination, variability, and all these things. You can give a small words also. What you are going to do, you are going to judge their satisfaction levels of the product basing on price, basing on quality, basing on durability, and all these things are the thing. But no need to give all the statement regularly for all the questions in the proper in the first heading itself. You say that this we are going to analyze. The customer satisfaction is going to measure in form of so and so variables. The variables can be listed over there, and you can give some ranking scales, you can give some SR notes, you can give some statements, Likert scales, and all these things, and also you can give your choices. That's why should be how it should be praised, how it should be sentence formation, how it should be sentence form, and it should be minimum The restriction is that should not go behind the one line and minimum 3 to 5 words. Then it will be very useful. And which scale to use? Which scale to use? And we have many different types of scales called ordering scales, ranking scales, and also minimal scales. Yes or no. You can go for a strongly agree, disagree, 5 point scale, 3 point scale, 7 point scale, Likert scale, and many other things are scale. Ranking scales is that you can rank yourself 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Order of priorities 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can use what type of scales you are going to use. You can use sometimes you can also go for open-ended and closed-ended questions also. Open-ended questions is that just you'll give a dash, you ask the respondent to fill. It's called open-ended questions. If you're asking to give any suggestions, you will not give the suggestions over there to select. You'll give any suggestions a dash. What happens is that the customer can write their opinions over there. Okay, if not, you are giving some suggestions also. They are giving some suggestions or 7 or 8 suggestions, and you are asking them to choose anyone, and that's not a appropriate way of presenting. That's why where you want to give this ranking skills is that you want to judge the satisfaction levels, whether you want to say something about the effectiveness of training, you want to study something about the performance of the company, the current ratios of the company, then you can use this type of scales. Scales can be used. And next, in what sequence should be arranged? What is sequence of questions? What is the sequence of questions to be arranged? First, what comes second, whether to go for the quality of the product first, whether to go for the price of the product, whether to go for the which element of the product first, then go for the second product. Why? Because the customer ratings and the customer preferences will be very much different. If the same other activities also been going on, your preferences will be different. Your preferences will be different, and your order of preferences will be changed over there from this program to the other program. The same way, there also your preferences of asking the questions regarding the opinions of the so customers. You need to change. You need to change, and that things will gives you some ordering of questions, which comes first and which comes next. You need to identify this. It's a very thing need to be identified. And what layout will serve the purpose? What layout?
Sir, your
Don't
slide
use
is not changed, sir.
no man, I didn't
During
went
the
on.
question.
I'm in this itself. I'm in itself.
Okay, 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 sir.
Okay. In what sequence questions should be arranged? What is sequence and what is the layout? What layout will best serve the purpose? Don't go for a pages of questionnaire. Just go for the questionnaire in a minimal way. It means that it should not go 2 or 3 pages because the customers feel bored. The customers feel bored. And still, if you have different choices, you can give a ranking scales in form of bullets or numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No need to repeat again and again the things. Strongly agree, disagree, and also agree, neutral, and all these things. Don't to repeatedly use the words. You can just give the order of ranking. There's 1 is for this, 2 is for that, 3 is for that, 4 is for that, 5 is for that, and you can just order the things, and also you can present the purpose. You can serve the purpose also, and should not goes behind the pages. Then go for the 20 questions or 25 questions, not go for behind the 30 questions. Don't go behind the 30 questions, and it's very better to go for the 20 questions itself. Don't go behind the 20, and don't go behind 30, and don't go before 20 itself also. Why? Because some things, the futures called customer related things information will be collected in 4 or 5 variables, and you'll get only 15 variables to judge. And using these 15 variables, you can judge about the satisfactions or trainings or any other methods. Whatever the topic you're going to do, you can do. And how to pre-test the questionnaire. First, I already said that you employ on yourself first. You employ on yourself. You employ the questionnaire. That means you take the questionnaire, and you better to fill the questionnaire first. Whether whatever the questions are there, these are appropriate or not. These are appropriate or not. We need to test yourself. And sometimes also pilot studies will be done. Pilot study is that you are going to employ only on few people known as your friends or relatives so that you can get the results. Then you can apply whether these are appropriate or not. Then you can go for the apply to a large number of people. That's why you can ask, you can meet and you can interact with the 2 or 3 people. If their opinions are betterly understood and we are going to able to analyze better, then you can go for the extension of the same questionnaire to the other people. If not, if any such suggestions are there, recommendations are there, changes are there, you can improvise your questionnaire, and also you can go for the making such incorporating such suggestions also. Then this is what the basics which need to be identified in form of the questionnaire designing. It's very important to you, and not only to people who are dealing with HR marketing, the finance graduates also can concentrate on this, because when you are asking something employees about, the NPAs of the bank, known as non-performing assets of the bank. You can ask many number of questions. NPAs, we have three types, one, two, three, and NPAs, non-performing assets. How do you classify the assets, and what ratios things, and what are the things, what are the things are there, and all these things can be easily, all these things can be easily summarized. Also, all these things can be easily interpreted over there, and that's what we require for the things. And that's why I can also share you at the end of the days that today, at the end of the today's sessions or in the next day sessions, I'll share you some previous works questionnaires also, so that we'll be having a better understanding also how to make the proper questionnaires also. It's a simple form of questionnaires where you can go for the 15 to 20 questions, and you can make a better understanding, better analysis also. Okay, and this is what about the questionnaire study. I have one slide. This is regarding the questionnaire. This is what is open-ended question, what is closed-ended question. What is open-ended question is that which is your favorite, what is your favorite color. You're not giving them choice, you're not there giving them choice, just you are giving a blank and you're asking to write there. You're asking them to write there whether blue, black, green. You're not giving any choice, you can write of their own color. The customer can choose many things. He can even write light blue, dark blue, violet, purple, and whatever the color he likes, he can write. But it will be very toughest part to make the analysis. If it is very toughest part to make the analysis, and also tabulation. Tabulation, frequency distribution. We will be seeing frequency distribution. We says that how many people has done blue. We will make a direct frequency box, and we will frequency bars, and we will cut off and write the things over there. But if these type of questions are there, if these type of open-ended questions are being asked to you, then it is very difficult to you to answer. It is very difficult to tabulate. It is very difficult to go for the analysis part. That's why better to go for closed or fixed responses questions. Some questions which are not possible, like any suggestions, then you can go for the open-ended questions. But those questions which are having alternatives, which are having some responses, which through which you can fill your responses, you can go for the open and closed-ended or fixed responses, where you can fix your responses. Then here we have different types called yes or no, true or false questions. And do you like color yellow? Yes or no. And then we have multiple choice, known as my favorite color is red, blue, or yellow. You can use this. And rating scales is that which color do you like? Must rate your colors. Means yellow color you are rating. I like it. I dislike. I don't care. I even like it. I like it. You can use your measuring scale, 3-point scale or 5-point scale or 7-point scale or 10-point scale. Some people will say that 10-point scale. That means for selecting one, it is only 100. For 290, for 380 marks, we are going for like this. We are going to give. Well, as your grading procedure is there, the same way they can also go for the ranking of the things done. Then last form is ranking questions. Rank in order your preferences for each color, with one being your favorite color. You should give 1, 2, 3 over there. Why? Because three colors has been given over there. You should rank 1, 2, 3. Either you are ranking the first color for red, blue, or yellow. You need to identify. If 1 is given for blue, 2 is given for red, 3 is given for yellow, one type of results you are going to get. And if you are giving a reverse form, vice versa, 3 is for 1, 3 is blue is for 1, yellow is for 1, red is for 2, and other things, then the results will be appear differently and will be analyzed differently. That's the purpose of identifying the questions. How do you rank? And based on rankings also, if the customers are ranking, if out of 200 people, 150 people says that blue is my favorite color, then it is called highest ranked color. Then you can go for the second preference. Preferably, also the customers also went on for choosing this second option as red color. And finally, lastly, the yellow color is the least chosen in order of the preferences regarding the favorite color. You can write these type of interpretations and also can make the analysis done very effectively. Okay, and this is a slide which I want to convey to you. What happens here is that information technology. What we are doing is that technology and data analytics and data analysis is done only by employing some technology in the system. Without employing the technology, we cannot do these things. The thing is that in the first industrial revolution, they used water and steam power to mechanize the production. Earlier days, they used to concentrate only on the productivity and production. Production was the main concept of every company. They need to produce a number of commodities and they increase their productivity. That was only the concept of production concept. in marketing, we see something about the production concept. In the earlier days, every company they used to concentrate only on the production concept itself. They used to use all the factors of production, and they used to produce a many number of goods and number of goods, and they increases the productivity. Then second level, they started adopting the second level. They used electric power. They started adoption of electricity, known as circuit boards technologies, and all these things has been comes over there, and using of these adoption of electricity, and also intensive methods of applying this electricity by making a innovative technologies, innovative machines also. They have been classifying on the, they have been constant on the mass production, means large amounts of production system. They're not being constant on any other performance categories criteria, only on the mass production. And finally, now in the present era, what we are doing is that we are not only concentrating on electronic, we are also concentrating on the information technology also, because how smart, how quality, and also how fast we produce things. How produce virtual reality. What is virtual reality? What is VFX, known as FX, DFX? What is 4D? What is 3D? What is multimedia? And what not everything? What not? These has changed. These terminologies has completely changed the structure, changed the economy, changed the society, and also changed the individual's behavior also. Why I'm wearing this Bluetooth? Why we are communicating virtually? Why we are using the Google Meet and all these things? Because the information technology has paced the things and also paved the way to use all these things. We have some virtual realities, we have we have all these things. Why we are doing all these things? We are imposed to adopt all these things, because without this we don't have anything to do. That's why, for the purpose of this, then the information technology is becoming an increasingly important, not only for individual, for also every business. Not only their business, not for each and every organization. I said that electronic weighing machines. What was the basic purpose of electronic weighing machines? Unless we have a spring balances or the earlier balances, then to give the appropriate things and also appropriate ways, not to use the measures known as 1 kg 2 kg measures. It's better to go for the electronic weighting. Then we have done. And then scientific, then comes more than advanced, in also more than advanced, and all these things. Why we are seeing all these type of things is that only the technology is making all these things to adopt the things. Why the artificial intelligence, why machine learning, what is this, all these things are there. Even the earlier also we used to work. Why robotics, why artificial intelligence is that we need to measure, we need to, as the customer needs are increasing, the customer expectations are increasing, and also we are adopting the technology. The same way, the organizations also coming forward to adopt the technology in their business. And now we discuss something about that. It is very vital to ensure that every business gets the most of their any systems that introduces. In order to ensure that this case, we need to make sure that the IT system supports your business and also adds values. It's not only a thing that you purchase a laptop, you purchase a desktop and keep it on the counter of the business or the table of the manager. Also, we require some tools, we require some equipments, we require some people who can manage the things, who can manage the things. That's a better option, and then only it adds some value to the shop. If you're maintaining a grocery store and if you're maintaining some computer over your store, but you're not making the electronic billing, then what is the use of maintaining of computers? What is the purpose of use of your computers? That's why when you adopt the technology, when you impose the technology, when you inculcate the technology, and when you're using the technology in your business, it also adds the value to the things. When you deposit a check in the customer service desk, the customer service box, then automatically they'll read. If not, if you are directly giving a handovering check to the customer, to the employee of the there, they will directly credit the amount to your check, credit the amount to your bank account directly. Why? Because there is a technology that we can make instant money transfers also. IMPS, instant money payment systems are there. IF transfer payment systems are there. Many things are there. They can directly make the transactions done because they are adopting the technology. No way of asking the people, no way of sending the check to the concerned bank account, no way of deducting the amount from their account, not writing in a ledger book, not writing anywhere. We are making the things automatically by adopting this technology. Then that's what's also adding the value for the business. And this is what we are now in the technology. Next, come to our topic called Excel. We have something about the Excel. Okay, is there any doubts before this? Any questions before this? Before we commence, before we go to the Excel part. We'll finish in 5 to 10 minutes. No need to get tense about that. We'll complete it and just we'll go for some basics of Excel today. And from tomorrow directly, no theoretical part from tomorrow, directly we'll go for the Excel itself.
Students, if you have any doubts, you can unmute yourself and talk.
No, sir, it's clear.
Okay, Emma, thank you. And now, just coming to the Excel. Excel is a spreadsheet form of application. It has been designed by the Microsoft. Microsoft, it comes as a part of the Microsoft Office tool. It's an office tool, and where is also an SPSS is also another part of the tool, statistical analysis. It's a statistical package for social sciences in order to make the social surveys and social sciences research purpose, and we use the SPSS tool also. And for making better analysis purpose also, you can use this SPSS tool. And SPSS is, when compared to the Excel, SPSS is more powerful because the functions which are there in Excel is very small when compared to SPSS. But whatever the things being able to do in Excel is also very good, very good. But we have some more additional features. We have some more additional features like reliabilities and all the factor analysis and all these things we can do in a better way in SPSS when compared to the Excel. That's why when comparing those things, we can rate highly with the SPSS when compared to the Excel. And what happens in Excel itself, we directly with having some knowledge on the how to input the data, we can directly input the data into the Excel spreadsheet. But whereas in SPSS, we cannot do that. We cannot directly input the data. We need to define the variable. We need to code the variable. Then only we can give the analysis. We can give the data. That's what the basic thing need to be identified. And Excel is be designed and it is very useful for all the teachers, students, and also job seekers and many other people, entrepreneurs, bloggers, anywhere we go for the better analysis. If you want to find something about the mean, if you want to prepare some chart, if you want to analysis, if you want to undergo for any training activities, any each and every activity, and all these activities can be done using some Excel. Means, medians, deviations, modes, and all these things, whatever not the statistical tools and all these type of statistical tools can be done using the Excel part. And it is very helpful to people. You can use on different platforms also. You can use on Mac, you can also use on operating systems, Windows operating systems, and also cloud systems, Android. We can also use on Office 365. Using Office 365, you can use in mobile phones also. Whatever the features are there, all the features called sorting, filtering, data consolidations, validations, and all these features are also available on the Office 365 also. You can use there also. It's also an important tool, workplace application that helps to organize the business systems and process of data using some fixed columns and rows using some specified formulas. Here we use some formulas called statistical formulas. Then whereas in SPSS, we only directly use this tools. We have some directly tabs options, and using tab options, you can directly select the options and no need to type anything. No need to type anything. Directly you can use your direct interfacing options and you can interpret the data. Whereas in Excel, you need to enter the data in form of rows and columns, and in order to make a function perform, you need to give some formula over there. You need to remember the formulas and you need to give the formulas. If you want to give something about the mean, you need to start with is equal and you need to type the average. Average is a function which is used for making the mean, and you need to do. If you want to subtract, you can do this. If you want to remove this, you can give a small minus symbol and plus symbol, and you can add and you can subtract. Then you can identify the column variables, row variables, and because you can do in Excel. And the first version of Excel was introduced on September 30, 1985. And today, the latest version you can download is 16.0 or Excel 2016. Excel 2016 is the latest version, and still we are working on that. And then people can download and also buy directly MS Office also. You can buy directly MS Office so that we will get a component of MS Office is MS Excel. You can also get that. Then Excel spreadsheet in up to the 2010 or 2007 worksheets, we used to have only 65,000 rows and 256 columns. 65,000 rows and 256 columns. But now, in order to in the recent forms, it has been expanded up to 10,48,576 rows and 16,384 columns. It is an expanded form, and 2003 and 2007, where you get with an format called extension. The word extension, the extension for the Microsoft Excel is .xls up to 2003. Whereas 2007, the files of Excel will be saved with the extension called dot XLS X small x will be given over there as an expanded form. X L S is for 2003 up to 2003, and from 2007 format we are adding one more X over there. Okay, then all these things will be identified in form of the rows and columns. A combination of row and column is called as a cell. A row and combination is called as a cell, and every Excel sheet will have three worksheets over there, and three worksheets you can do on the three worksheets called sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3. You can work on this, and also we can go for this. And very useful tool is that data analysis for every either the online or offline or any product sales or anything. We can use this Excel as a primary tool for making some analysis. And we have many features called filtering, sorting, merging, consolidating, validating, removing, featuring, formatting, paraphrase, paragraph formatting, and all these things. Many other features are there. Conditional formatting is there, and all these things can be handled very smartly and also very useful in the Excel. And this is what as a student, you feel that there are some career opportunities only with regard to Excel also. Why? Because fixation of payrolls, the people who are working on the HRs, they purely concentrate, they purely do on the Excel. And the people who are working on the back-end operations are working on the trend analysis, projecting analysis, then you can use these skills. I've seen many number of programs who are offering many type of programs who are offering only the same pivot table. They'll explain the same pivot table. They'll explain something about the consolidations. They'll make something about the chart creation of charts, and also they'll make the programs done. All these things are really useful to you in your practical experiences also. And if you're writing about any computer skills in your resume, make sure that MS Office is also an important component. Never feel that MS Office is a small tool, and it's not only a smaller tool. We can use this MS Office as a tool which we have expertise over there. We can do this MS Word, MS Office, and also PowerPoint, and also Access. So the basic tools which we need to concentrate, and you can also add your skills, add these as your soft skills, add your skills as computer skills what you have aware in your resume also. And by this we'll end this session, and tomorrow let's start for the hands-on sessions to Excel. If you have any laptops also, you can use your laptops, you can connect to your laptops, and also you can work on the laptops also, no problem. Even if you are having some any things or any suggestions or any requirements regarding the questions also, whatever the things you have doing, I'll give the time to you. You can also interpret, you can also do on your systems and laptops also, and we can move step by step sequentially, starting with the Microsoft Excel tomorrow. Okay, any more doubts on this?
Students, now the session is open for queries. If you have any kind of doubts or questions, you can ask. If you have any sort of questions, you can ask.
Okay, I'll be sending a I'll sending a feedback form, not a feedback form, assessment form, giving you small questions. You can also gain something on this. You'll get a responses also over there. You'll be able to judge yourself. No problem in that. Just I'll make a small questions of 10 questions and make you to do the things. And from tomorrow sessions, I'll not give you the questions. I'll give you some assignments so that possibly you can do this. Possibly you can do this. A part of the SPSS, you can do all the Excel things. Two things from day 2 and day 3 also. We'll give some assignments so that you can do that. No need to tense about the submission of assignment. Just as a to gain some knowledge, practical things, hands-on sessions. If you want to do, you can do directly also. If not, you can also do it later, and also you can ask me in the next sessions also. If you have any doubts also, you can ask me in the next sessions also regarding if you are not been done with creation of chart. This is we are facing difficulty in this part. We are facing difficulty in that part. And also I can also give you the chance to share your screen also, so that also I can able to explain. I can also easily identify your problem also. I can solve it also. Okay. Any more? Madam, Bhargavi madam, it's for you now. It's for you, madam. The people, I hope they have no questions from there.
Yes, sir. I think they have no queries.
Yes. Then shall we end the session and we'll join back tomorrow? Is that okay?
Sir?
Shall we end the session and
Sir, your
we'll
voice
be
is
joining
breaking.
back tomorrow? Shall we
Sir,
end the
no
session
code
for
written,
today?
sir. Quiz.
I'll be sending them later, man. I'll be sending them later a form. I'll be sending a form.
Okay, questions will be in the assessment form, sir.
Yes, in form of assessment form, I'll be sending in the group. I'll be posting in the group. They can fill this.
Sir, your voice is not clear, sir. It is strucking.
No, ma'am. I will be sending them in the group. I'll be creating a form and I'll be sending them in the group.
Madam, sir is saying that he will be sending in the group after the
I hope disturbance is from your side, madam.
Sir, you will send it in the group, sir.
Yes, ma'am. I'll be sharing it in the group so that they can fill the questionnaires. They will fill the assessment form later also.
Okay, sir. Okay. So, shall we wind up the
Okay.
session, sir, now?
Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Yes, madam. Thank you.
Okay, sir. Okay. Thank you, sir. And thank you
Okay,
all
madam. Thank you.
participants. I hope you really.
Okay. Thank you, madam and sir.
And sir, sir,
Thank you so
tomorrow
much.
is
Thank
okay.
you,
Shall
sir.
we
Thank you.
session?
Thank
Thank
you,
you,
sir.
sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Anandal. Madam,
Sir, రేపు
madam.
సండే కదా shall we have the session in the morning?
It's your wish, madam. No problem. I'm flexible with your timings. No problem.
So I will ask the students, sir. Students, what you say?
Yes.
Shall we have the morning session tomorrow? Because
Okay,
it is
ma'am.
Sunday tomorrow.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am, no problem. You can.
Okay.
Yeah.
So tomorrow we will have the session in the 11 o'clock in the morning. Okay?
Okay,
Okay,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Okay. Okay. Thank
Okay,
you, Fani
madam.
sir, for
Thank you. Thank you, madam. Thanks for the opportunity. Thank you. It's a very pleasant time to be with you. Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone.
thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Mr. Sandeep. Thank you. Thank you, madam.
Thank you all the participants.
Thank you. Thank you, Neha. Thank you.
11.
Thank you, Babu. Thank you, Vinay. Thank you, Yamini. Everyone. Thank you, Srija. Jayashree. Everyone. Thank you, everyone. Let's meet tomorrow at 11 a.m. Thank you. Bye.